we'll go over. Okay, so today is about scalp health. All right, today is about scalp health 101. And I feel like I have done this topic numerous times. I feel like I have talked about scalp health 101 101 times, but you know what? It's fine. I will talk about it 2,000 times if that's what we need to do to get it. The important thing is that you not just hear the information, but you actually also take action. All right. I don't want you to just be getting information and then not taking action. All right. So let's get started. Hopefully we won't be here that long today, but I'm just going to get started and run through these tips real quick and get back to the rest of my day. All right. So quick question. Does your scalp feel dry, itchy, or just a little bit off? Okay, this happens. This could be normal in some cases. Now, did you know that your scalp health can actually hold back your hair growth? So yes, that is 100% true that when your scalp is off, okay, whether that's your scalp pH, whether that's product buildup, whether that's clogged follicles, whatever it is, it can hinder your hair growth or block your hair growth, okay, or hold your hair growth back from reaching its full potential. So stick with me in today's session or in today's video, and I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about scalp health from a very foundational level and how it's the secret to healthy, thriving hair. Especially if you are someone that's dealing with hair health issues and you want to kind of start from the scalp level, this video is going to definitely be helpful to you today. Now, if you're new here, my name is Kendra and I'm the founder of the 180 Hair Collection, and I help women over the age of 40 to restore and transform their hair health using natural holistic solutions. Okay, so that means we don't just talk about product usage, we deal with the entire body. So that's your mindset, your habits, your nutrition, and stress management. So those are some of the things that we look at when we talk about hair health. Okay, so today's topic again is about the foundation of hair growth, which is your scalp. So we'll cover a few things today and we won't be too long, hopefully. We'll cover why scalp health matters in the first place. I'll give you a few signs of an unhealthy scalp and then some of my favorite tips to help you get your scalp back in top condition. Because most of the time when we have scalp issues, it is not permanent, okay? It's always usually something that we can fix if we just make some minor changes and also have a little bit of information that helps us make better decisions, okay? So let's start with the basics, okay? Why scalp health is the foundation in the first place. So you have to remember, and this is just a little bit of scientific insight, okay? It's a little bit of science. Your scalp is it's like this incredible network of over 100,000 follicles, okay? The amount of follicles that you are born with are the amount of follicles that you will have the rest of your life, okay? You don't grow more hair follicles, okay? Each one of those follicles plays a vital role in growing a single strand of hair. So these follicles, I've said this before, are like little factories. They draw nutrients from your blood supply, produce the keratin that forms your hair strands, and then regulate your hair's hair growth cycle. So your hair follicle is not your hair strand. The hair follicle is the little system that creates the hair strand, okay? And so here's the thing. These tiny little factories that we're using as an analogy here, they cannot function properly if clogged, all right, or if irritated even. So when you have things like buildup from products, or you have dirt or sweat or even natural oils, these things can block the follicles, making it harder for new hair to grow. So think of it like a traffic jam. When the follicle is blocked, the nutrients and the oxygen to the scalp, or the oxygen that your scalp needs, can't get through. So anything that needs to get through and get into those follicles to help the hair to grow can't get through when there's a blockage. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, irritation can also throw the follicles off track. So issues like inflammation, harsh products, dandruff, or even scalp conditions that have gone untreated for a long period of time, these can all create an unhealthy environment, which will lead to weak hair, which means your hair will still grow because there isn't a blockage, but the hair will grow weak or it will grow brittle. And then, of course, when the hair grows out and it's weak and it's brittle, that means over time you'll end up losing that hair a lot sooner than it would throughout your normal hair growth cycle. Okay, so your follicles need balance. They need the right care and the right products to work their magic. So that's why scalp health isn't just about keeping your scalp clean. I mean, that's very important, but it's also about addressing, it's also about creating, the perfect environment for your follicles to thrive, so the follicles can grow hair that's healthy and strong, okay? Because your follicles are going to do what they're supposed to do, unless there's a bigger issue at play here, and we'll talk about that in another video. But usually your follicles will grow hair. Like, that's what they're made to do. They're going to do that. But if, again, there's things that is stopping that process or hindering or halting that process, then that's where you're going to have problems. So we want to address any buildup. We want to talk about hydration. We want to make sure we're boosting the circulation by doing scalp massages, which is a super, super simple way that I think a lot of people take for granted. These are the things that give your follicles the best chance to do what they grow best, and that's grow hair. Okay, do what they do best, and that's to grow hair. All right, so that's that. That's the science behind why your scalp health is the foundation. Okay, because we want to make sure that we are supporting healthy growth from the follicle level. All right, now the next thing, signs of an unhealthy scalp. So how do you even know if your scalp is unhealthy in the first place? So I'm going to give you some physical signs, some hair symptoms, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the mindset. Okay, so here are signs of an unhealthy scalp. So let's start with the physical signs. The first thing is going to be, so your scalp, most of your body, it talks to you. You just have to listen and pay attention to clues, okay? So your scalp will often send you signs when it needs help, okay? These physical signs are just like little warning lights on the car dashboard. Everybody, when you drive your car and those lights come on, you know something is wrong, okay? It's time to take a step back, take the car in, get it checked, pay attention, right? So your scalp is also doing the same thing, but you have to pay attention. So here's a few things that you may notice. Dryness. If your scalp feels tight, if it looks ashy, because remember the scalp is skin, so the scalp can look ashy too, it may be lacking moisture. And so a dry scalp often leads to a lot of itching and irritation. And remember in the beginning, we talked about how irritation can halt or, throw off your hair growth from the follicle level. All right. So, and then also another physical sign of an irritated scalp or an unhealthy scalp is flakes. So flaking is a common sign of an imbalance, right? So while it's often sometimes we mistake flakes for dandruff. Flakes can also result from product buildup or an overly dry scalp. So just remember that every time you see flakes does not mean that's dandruff. Dandruff is usually a result of hair or scalp that's too oily. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit. Another physical sign of an unhealthy scalp is going to be redness. So if you see redness, and I used to have this issue a lot, redness or inflammation can indicate irritation from harsh products. So if you're using a product and all of a sudden you notice that your scalp is red, or you're noticing a lot of redness in your scalp, or even in certain areas of your scalp, it could be an allergic reaction. So what I would do, or even an infection in some cases, depending on the severity. So what I would do, if you know that you're using a different product, to stop using it. And this could even be true, like if you're wearing hair extensions. I know some braided hair, or some hair that's used for like braiding and crocheting, has chemicals in it that people have allergic reactions to. So I would just be mindful of that as well. Another sign of an unhealthy scalp is going to be itching, of course. Persistent itching is a major red flag. Now, this could be as simple as your scalp is just dry and we need to add some hydration and moisture. It could be something that's causing a sensitivity, or it could be something that you may need to see a doctor for, like an underlying scalp condition such as psoriasis or seborrheic dermatitis. Okay, and usually the dermatitis thing, I really get frustrated with that because usually if that's the issue, it's kind of hard to get rid of. It's just that persistent itch where you don't really see anything on the scalp, like you don't see flakes or follicles or it doesn't look dry. It's just itchy. And sometimes that can take a while to get rid of. Okay. So another physical sign of an unhealthy scalp is going to be tenderness. Now, usually a tender scalp will result from excessive tension. That means tight hairstyles, okay? Tight hairstyles and tension leads to inflammation. And over time, this can lead to your follicles being weak, okay? That constant pulling and tugging on your scalp is pulling hair from the follicle, okay? The inflammation and all of the tightness and the tension can cause your follicles to become weak. So just remember that. That is the thing that kind of leads to the traction alopecia. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some hair symptoms. Some hair symptoms that are signs of an unhealthy scalp. So what is your hair doing if your scalp is unhealthy? So if your scalp isn't healthy, your hair will show it too. Remember, the health of your hair is directly tied to the health of your scalp. That's why we're talking about this in the first place. So some signs to watch for include slow growth. All right. So just because you have slow growth is not 100% mean that your scalp is unhealthy, but this could be a symptom. So if your hair growth seems to have stalled, it could be that you have clogged follicles or poor circulation. And these things are preventing new hair from forming or coming through the scalp. Okay. If you're noticing things like thinning, say that your hair is suddenly starting to thin. Hair thinning can result from chronic scalp issues like inflammation, okay, like we just talked about. Also, things that we talk about a lot is insufficient nutrients. So if you're not getting the right nutrients internally, the nutrients aren't getting to the follicles. Remember, the blood flow or your blood takes or delivers all of the nutrients to the follicles. So if you're not even putting anything in, then your follicles have nothing to work with. Okay. Breakage. So if you have weak, brittle hair, this can stem from poor scalp health. Remember that, as because unhealthy follicles can't produce strong strands. Okay. And then excessive shedding. While shedding is normal, okay, your hair sheds up to 100 hairs per day. This is normal. But when it becomes excessive, this can be a sign of scalp irritation, buildup, or even stress. Okay, and all of these things affect the scalp's balance. Okay, so we're still talking about signs of an unhealthy scalp. And I want to briefly touch on mindset because remember, we tackle hair health from a holistic approach or using a holistic approach. So mindset is going to be important no matter what type of hair health situation you are dealing with or what your hair goals are. Mindset is going to be key. So it's easy to ignore scalp issues or treat them with quick fixes like styling products or oils. But I want you to be real and knowing that covering up the problem doesn't solve it, because essentially that's what you're doing. And a lot of times we do that because we just don't know. Our scalp is itching. We feel like we need to put some oil on it. Okay. So imagine ignoring a leaky roof. Okay. Sure, you can put a bucket under the drip, but unless you fix the source of the leak, it's only going to get worse. The same thing goes for your scalp or any hair problem that you are noticing. If you try to just cover these things up temporarily without really trying to get to the root of understanding why they're happening, it'll just keep happening, or it'll get worse. Okay. Or you can have long-term damage like thinning or hair loss. So a lot of times we do things like wearing tight hairstyles, and the first time we notice it's too tight, we change it up and we don't do it again. But a lot of times, and I see this, I notice a lot of times women that wear braids, they have their braids pulled back so tight, Lord, just clinging for clinging on for dear life, and their edges are non-existent. Okay, edges are non-existent, yet and still they are still getting these extremely tight braids, or even if the braids aren't tight, they have them in these extremely tight pulled back ponytails. Okay, so just think about that. It's just making the problem worse. It's just pushing that hairline further and further back, further and further back, and then the hairline will be way back here. Okay, and the follicles will be in such a bad condition that it's permanent damage. Okay, they're scarred or whatever, and it's just really difficult to get the hair to grow back once you get that far gone. Okay, so but if you take care of your scalp, if you notice these problems and you do something about it, you can prevent these things from getting worse. Okay, all right, so moving on to tips to achieve a healthy scalp. What are we doing? Okay, I've told you the problems that you can notice, the signs that you can notice. What are some things that you can do to alleviate some of these issues? Okay, or even just have a healthy scalp in the first place? There's a lot of things you can do. I'm only going to cover 3 today, just for the sake of time and not to overwhelm. Okay, but the first thing I want to talk about is cleansing. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. A clean scalp is going to be a healthy scalp. So I know that for a lot of us, shampooing our hair and scalp, often is not always possible. Okay, especially with African American hair, we typically don't shampoo our hair often, usually because we're wearing protective styles, or we, have subscribed to this myth that washing your hair too much makes it dry, when in actuality your hair loves water. Your hair thrives on hydration. Okay, but it's just something I want you to think about. The less you wash your hair or cleanse your scalp, let me not focus on just the hair. The less you cleanse your scalp, the more likely you are to experience scalp irritation, especially if you are always using products. If you use a lot of products on your scalp, okay? Now, it matters because the natural oil or the sebum that your scalp naturally produces helps to keep your scalp moisturized, and it protects your follicles. Now, if you over cleanse, so I think this is the issue. People say that washing or shampooing your hair and scalp too much causes it to be dry. Actually, it's what you use that causes it to get dry and brittle. It's not the water. The water, unless you have like horrible hard water, or water that is filled with chemicals and stuff that's irritating your scalp, the water is not in and of itself is not going to dry your hair out. It's the shampoos that you use, it's the products that you use. If you're using a heavy sulfate shampoo every time you cleanse your hair and scalp, yes, you are going to strip the hair of its natural oils, and it's going to be prone to dryness and irritation. Okay, and then on the flip side of that, if you don't cleanse your scalp enough, this can lead to buildup and clogged follicles. Okay, so you got to find a nice little middle ground here. So what to do? We can opt for a gentle sulfate-free shampoo. Remember, sulfates are not all bad. Okay, sulfates are necessary at times, but if you are cleansing your scalp and hair frequently, you don't need to use a heavy sulfate shampoo every time. Okay. You want to look for ingredients like tea tree oil, avocado, chamomile. These types of things can help to soothe the scalp while cleansing it. All right. And wash your hair and scalp based on your scalp's needs. Okay, if you have hair that's or a scalp that's typically very oily, then you probably should be doing it often, more often than someone who has a naturally dry scalp or doesn't use a lot of products or doesn't do a lot to their hair. You don't need to shampoo your hair and scalp that often. So it's to ask me the question, how often should I wash my hair? Well, it depends. Okay, if you're someone that goes to the gym a lot, you sweat at the scalp level a lot, and you use a lot of products, and you wear protective styles, and you keep your hair. I mean, you probably should go in hard, you know. But somebody that doesn't really do much of their hair, they don't use a lot of products, they just let their hair do what it does, then you probably wouldn't need to wash that often. I think I just repeated myself, but you get my point, okay? All right. So another tip to achieve healthy scalp is exfoliate. I think on the last one of the last 2 or 3 lives I did, I talked about exfoliating the scalp. Okay. Just like the rest of your body, your face, your arms, whatever, your scalp sheds dead skin cells. Every piece of skin on your body sheds dead skin cells. Okay. But the thing is, when it's in your hair, on your scalp, these dead skin cells tend to mix with product buildup or the products that you're using or the oils that you're using or the dust and debris in the dust and the debris in the environment. Okay. And these are the things that can clog your follicles. So exfoliation comes in and helps your scalp to helps to keep your scalp clean and to keep your hair growth on track. Okay. That's just a thing that I would recommend doing, especially if you've had your hair up in a protective style like braids or something for a long period of time and you've been oiling your scalp constantly or using a lot of products, and just do you a little light exfoliation to remove the buildup and promote healthy circulation to the scalp and making sure your follicles are getting the nutrients they need. Okay. And you can make a simple DIY scrub. You don't have to go to the store and buy anything, my friend. I am all about using stuff that you already have. Okay. So use a scalp scrub. You can buy a scalp scrub that's specifically designed for the scalp. That's fine. Or you can make your own. Simple ingredients: a tablespoon of sugar. Okay. You can also use salt, but I would start with sugar unless you're allergic. I know some people are allergic to sugar. Okay. And then a tablespoon of your favorite carrier oil. Start with a tablespoon. If that's not enough, double it up. Okay. So a tablespoon of sugar or salt, a tablespoon of your favorite carrier oil. You can use coconut, rice bran oil, jojoba oil, whatever you like. Whatever you know that your scalp is not sensitive to. Okay. So you'll just mix those together and then massage the mixture into your scalp while it's damp. Okay. Use regular circular motions, then rinse it out. Simple, simple. Okay. You could also grab a scalp brush. I have one of these little plastic ones here. Okay. You can grab a scalp brush and you can, put your little scrub on here and just do the exfoliation like that. This is excellent. Again, if you are someone that uses a lot of products or do not cleanse your scalp often, okay, get you a little scalp massage. You could probably get these from the dollar store for literally $1, and you could throw it away after you use it one time. It's a very low cost investment. And even making a scrub, I mean, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of a carrier oil. Most of us have some olive oil in our kitchen or some coconut oil. Just use that. It's fine. Okay. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Okay. Moisture and balance. Moisture and balance. Okay. This is another tip to achieve a healthy scalp. Now, again, your scalp, like your skin, needs the right level of moisture to stay healthy. So when it's too dry, of course, that leads to things like itching, flakes, and irritation. And then, so for that reason, we want to keep our scalp balanced and keep the environment conducive for healthy growth. Okay. So how do we moisturize? We're talking about moisture and balance. How do you moisturize? So apply a lightweight scalp oil or leave-in treatment directly to your scalp. Light oils that work are pumpkin seed oil, castor oil. They work well because they are rich in nutrients that nourish the scalp and hair, and they have low comedogenic ratings, which means they don't clog your follicles, okay? Always avoid heavy oils or creams that might weigh your hair down even more. And also, if you have not tried the Balm Hair and Scalp Treatment, this is another solution to help you get your scalp back on track. Okay, it's packed with herbal ingredients like fenugreek, hibiscus, and nettle. All these things work together to moisturize, soothe, and support scalp health. Okay. Woo! All right, we're getting through this list, y'all. We got one more thing, one more tip, and then we're done. Okay. So let's talk about a few common myths about scalp health. And you probably don't even consider these as myths. This might just be something you heard and maybe you didn't really think much about it, but it is what it is. Okay. The first thing is, if your scalp feels dry, just put some oil on it. Slather some oil on it and you're good to go. Okay. Now, a lot of times when we have dry scalp, what's the first thing we want to do? We want to put some oil on it. We want to oil the scalp. Okay. Now, oils can be helpful. Sometimes it is just a matter of needing to put some oil on your scalp. But sometimes this does not completely fix the problem. And the reason being is that applying oil to a dry scalp without addressing buildup, if you have buildup, because sometimes the buildup can be the reason for the itching or, your scalp feeling some type of way. So if you feel, a lot of times we associate the itching with dryness. Just because your scalp is itching doesn't mean that it's dry. Your scalp could be itching because it's irritated, it's inflamed, there's buildup, it needs to be cleaned, all of those things. So if you just slather oil on it, okay, without addressing what the issue could be, then this can make things worse. Because what you're essentially doing is putting oil on top of product buildup, dead skin cells, and these are creating an environment that can clog your follicles even more and then prevent moisture from getting in. All right. Now, I want to talk quickly about hydration versus moisture. Oils lock in moisture. Okay. Oils do not provide hydration. Oils lock in moisture. The best way to get hydration is through H2O, water. Okay. All right. If your scalp is dry because it lacks water, focus on hydrating treatments like aloe vera. Using just regular old aloe vera on your scalp is great. One of the best things you can do. And an aloe vera leaf out of the store is like less than $3 where I am. Even if it's $5, that's a very inexpensive solution to help get your scalp healthy. Okay, hydrosols. Hydrosols are basically floral essences that have been put in water. So think rose water or chamomile water or any rose that's in a liquid. I want to say a rose that's been distilled and used in liquid. It's in liquid form. Okay. Whew, it's been a long day. Okay, now hydrosols and hydrating mists. Okay, so one more plug. The Spray and Go Hydrating Mist. All right, this is another thing that provides hydration. This is where you would get your hydration. You want to keep your scalp hydrated, so you use an oil after the hydration to lock the water in. Okay, that's what you do to lock the water in. That creates the moisture. Okay. All right, I'll get off of that. Now, another myth is, I think I said this earlier, that dandruff is always caused by a dry scalp. That is not true. Dandruff is actually often caused by an oily scalp or an overgrowth of a yeast-like fungus. Okay, so just remember that dandruff is not always caused by a dry scalp. If the dandruff is oily or waxy, that is not dry scalp. That is an oily scalp, an overly oily scalp, or an overgrowth of a yeast or a fungus. I definitely need you to do a scalp scrub if that's the case. Okay, unless it's severe, because we don't want to break the skin and cause more irritation and make things worse. So you should know your scalp issues better than anybody. And if you are not sure, see a professional. Go to a salon or a trusted stylist. Tell them what your issues are, and they should be able to help you. Okay? Another myth is you can't use oils on an oily scalp. Using the right oils, okay? It depends on the oils. Using the right oils like tea tree, peppermint, these can actually help to balance the sebum production. So even if you have an oily scalp, you can use oils, but use the right oils, okay? Because some oils, especially essential oils, help to balance the natural oil production of your scalp, okay? All right, so I see we got a few people on, and if you would, I would appreciate you guys if you would hit the like button. Let me know y'all are still with me. Hit the like button, and then let me know if you have any scalp issues. If you have a scalp challenge, drop it in the comments and let me know. Let's see what if we can do anything about it. And Van Henry, I see your comment. Just received the liquid balm. Looking forward to using it. Great. Please let me know how it works for you. You don't need to use a lot. A little goes a long way. All of our products are made so that you don't have to overuse. Using more does not make it work faster. I tell people that all the time. This jar and the bottle are both over $20 each, okay? And that's not because I'm trying to price gouge, okay? That's because we are using a significant amount of herbs, and I created this so that you don't have to overuse it or slather it on. You use a small amount, you massage it in, and that's it. Same thing with the balm, okay? You only need to use it for spot treatments. And fun fact, I initially created the balm as a spot treatment. People wanted to start using this product to grease or oil their entire scalp or their entire head. If it's not necessary, I wouldn't do that. If you just have a particular spot, a bald spot or thinning edges or certain spots in your scalp where it's unhealthy, just use it on those areas. And even still, you don't need to dig your finger in it. Rub your finger across the surface of it. Whatever is on your finger is enough. Then go to the next section, right? So you part your hair in sections wherever you need to use the product. Rub your finger in it a little bit. Massage that into your scalp. Okay. This should not be overused. Okay. So now, with the exception of the conditioning mist or the hydrating mist, use as much of this as you want to. Okay. You can't overuse this product. Okay. So just remember that. That is especially good if you have dry hair, dry scalp. That's going to give you what you need. Okay. So do we have any questions? Any questions? And remember, if you would, please hit the like button if you are watching today. I appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate you for hitting the like button. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed, I would appreciate you being here. I give lots of tips on hair health and body wellness. Okay, we especially hit hard on the hair health. Most of my most of my customers, my subscribers are women that are dealing with hair and scalp health issues. Okay, so instead of just telling you to buy products, use this product, I teach you how your mindset, your habits, your nutrition, and stress management can affect your hair health. And I give you tips and tools on what to do about it. Okay. I typically, if you're new here, I typically go live on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. I let my community pick the topic for the week. So check my community tab or my community page because I'm always posting like 3 topics and asking you guys to pick a topic. The topic with the most votes wins for that next week's live. So after today, I will post another post with 3 topics. The one that gets the most votes is the one that we talk about for that week. If you have a specific issue that you want me to address during the live, then be sure to put it either in the comments here or in the comments on the community tab. Okay? And thank you all so much again for hitting that like button. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. This channel is still fairly small. We're at 1,240 subscribers, which I'm excited. But I know in comparison to a lot of the other channels, that's a small number. But I just think about in August of last year, I think I was right at 400. So a little over 800 subscribers in 6 months. I think that's great. I think I'm doing good. I'm excited. Okay. So again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Let me know if you have any scalp issues or if you've had scalp issues in the past or if you have any questions regarding hair health in general or any questions about the 180 collection or the 180 hair products. Okay. I'll give it a couple more minutes, and if I don't hear from you guys, I will go ahead and end it. It's been a long day. Where are y'all watching from? Let me know in the comments. I'm in Texas, okay? So I'm in Texas, and I don't know what the weather is. It's cold. I'm cold natured, so unless it's summertime, I'm cold. It doesn't matter. Oh. Unless it's summertime, I'm cold. Any other cold natured people in the building? Oh, Choice says is in the UK. Oh, okay, I see your question. 1 second. I started doing something else. Oh, my attention span is that of a squirrel, child. I say one thing and I start doing something else. Be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be doing that. Hold on. Okay, so Van Henry is in Houston suburbs. Welcome, welcome. And Paula Andrews is from Georgia. Awesome, awesome. What's the weather like in the UK? Okay, I see your question. I got you. 1 second. I was trying to fix something. Okay. Let's briefly talk about the alopecia and the lupus situation. So first of all, I just want to put this disclaimer out there. I am not a medical professional. Always seek the help of a medical professional for any medical issues. The information that I'm giving you is just based on the knowledge that I have and my experience of doing this work for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. Okay. So very quickly, thank you for being vulnerable and honest and letting us know about your issues. I know that this can be very challenging, especially when it comes to your hair and scalp. So there are some things that you can do. There probably are some things that you're already doing. But if you're, just looking for like some basic information, uh, to address things like scalp and hair dryness, I would always focus on hydration and moisture, like we talked about, using a gentle shampoo, things that won't strip your scalp of natural oils, using doing scalp treatments. Okay, that's just at a basic level, so that's going to be across the board for everybody. Now, caring for your hair and scalp with lupus in mind, I know that it can make, for some people, I don't know this to be true for everybody because I've only met a few people that have been that have shared with me their experience with lupus. So if I'm off base on some of these, just let me know. Okay. But one thing I will say, I have been told that lupus can make your skin and scalp more sensitive. So, of course, we want to avoid things like tight hairstyles, harsh treatments, and anything that can irritate your scalp further or damage your hair. Okay. Protection from the sun. I think sun sensitivity is a common thing with lupus. So just make sure you're protecting your scalp. I don't know how you do that. I think you said where you are. Oh, you're in Houston. Okay. No, I'm sorry. That's choice. I apologize. Uh, it's foggy and cold. So I don't know how much sun you get exposed to, but using things like scalp sunscreen may help. Um, I I am familiar with scalp sensitivity from when I was going through chemotherapy. So in 2020, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had to do chemo, radiation, uh, the surgery, everything. Going through chemo, I did experience a very, very sensitive scalp. So I understand that from that perspective. Now, that was just a temporary thing. I don't have to live like that or live with that condition, but I did experience that. Um, so, yes, making sure you are taking care of your scalp, using soothing treatments that reduce inflammation. If you can handle it, doing a scalp massage using things like rosemary oil, just make sure you dilute it with a carrier oil or some aloe vera gel. Aloe vera gel, I think, would be very good for that also. Okay. If you want to talk about nutrition, just very briefly, I don't know what your diet is like. I think lupus can affect your body's ability to absorb nutrients. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that one. But I want you to just focus on foods that help to promote hair and scalp health. Okay. So just because we're dealing with issues that affect how our hair grows and things like that, we can always do things on the back end or on our end to help to promote hair growth and scalp health to give it that extra boost. Okay. So just remember to eat foods that promote hair growth, or that provide the nutrients that your hair needs for growth. And these will be things like leafy greens, berries. I think even turmeric will help. Okay, just do your research or follow whatever regimen that you're already following. Just keep in mind you want to get more support for your hair health through your nutrition. That's going to be important for everybody. Okay, all right. That's all I got. That is all I have. And you are welcome. You are very, very welcome. I am glad to help you in any way I can. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys and girls? And thank you all so much for hitting that like button, please. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. If you have not subscribed or share, you can share the video. That helps me grow too. Again, I don't always promote my products. Okay, I think it's more important to give you the knowledge and information. But what I do ask in return is that you would help the channel grow by doing simple things like liking videos, subscribing, and commenting. All those things help the channel grow. They help any YouTuber's channel to grow. Just those simple things that take a few seconds to do and don't cost you a dime. Okay. All right. Oh, you did ask that. I apologize. So I am trying to work with my web hosting service to get that set up because a few people have asked me that. And currently you cannot purchase the products online and have them shipped to the UK because I don't have international selling set up in my store yet. But that is in the works. That is in the works. I think I had to like submit a application to get everything set up so that I don't have to deal with like the exporting part of it. That there's a service or company that does that for you. So yes, I'm working on it. If you are asking to buy the products online and have them shipped to the UK, then that is currently not an option. But hopefully within the next week or two or next few weeks, we'll get that set up. Okay. Paula Andrews from Georgia says, I purchased your Don't Scratch Scalp Oil. I love it. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I actually have one right here. Try to keep all my products like right here when I'm doing live. So if I need to show and tell. So yes, the Don't Scratch Scalp Oil is this little product here. Okay. So this is great for dryness, tightness, and itch. Okay. This has cinnamon and mint in it. And y'all see me looking at the bottle because I make so much stuff. I don't always remember all the ingredients that's in everything. And speaking of that, I'm about to like get rid of some of the products that I have because I have way too many things. And all of them have like different ingredients and they need different bottles or containers. And it's just like stuff everywhere. And I'm like, girl, you need to cut back. So I'm about to cut back on my product offering, y'all. I'm sorry, but it's just becoming. I already stopped, and I know I'm getting off topic, Paula, but give me 1 second. I already stopped making this product. This is the Prep and Style Moisture Cream. Okay, I already pulled this one. I just have this one here because it's down here, but the cost to make this is crazy for me. Okay, so the price that I sell it for on the website, like it's not even worth it for me to make it, honestly. I was just doing it because I just love making products. And then the cost to ship it because of the weight. So I charge a flat rate of $5.99 to ship. That costs more than $5.99 to ship. So it's like I'm not losing money, but I'm not really making a profit off of that product. And then I got to pay extra to ship it. So, and I don't sell enough of those to justify me paying the shipping. Okay. So yeah, for now, that's been pulled. But the scalp oil, back to that. So a few ingredients on here that I wanted to highlight is the cinnamon, the peppermint, the clary sage, and the tea tree, which we all know about tea tree, but the lemongrass, okay? The lemongrass, the sage, the peppermint, and the cinnamon. Those are the ingredients that are helping to soothe the irritation, okay? The other ingredients in here, like the castor oil, the rice bran oil, pumpkin seed, those are the ingredients that are locking or doing the locking in, providing the moisture, okay? So if you use this when your scalp is damp, this is going to lock in or provide the moisture, okay? And then the burdock root helps with, it helps to kind of detox the scalp. So we use the burdock root because it helps to remove impurities. And then the hibiscus petals is just good for the skin altogether. So that's why that's in there. And then, of course, the vitamin E is good for skin also. Okay. So this is definitely going to not only soothe the scalp, but it's going to help to strengthen the roots, or strengthen strengthen the roots. Okay. So yeah, that's that. That's the product that Miss Paula is talking about. And again, another product that you don't need to use a lot of. Okay. You don't need to use a lot. You don't. Um, Oddly, hello, hello, good afternoon. And to everyone listening, yes, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We are just doing I was doing a quick little pop-up live that I scheduled 30 minutes before we started because I was being lazy and making excuses. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go live today. I'm not prepared. But then, I was like, no, don't do that. Don't be lazy. Don't be a lazy bug. So I was just asking everyone if they had any questions. We talked about scalp health. I don't know how much of the live you may have heard, but we were talking about scalp health. And I will quickly go over some quick points since we have a few more people in the room now. Let me find my notes. I did have notes this time. What was I going to say? Scalp health being the foundation. We talked about that. We talked about physical signs of an unhealthy scalp, and these are dryness, flakes, redness, itching, tenderness. We talked about some hair symptoms to look for in terms of an unhealthy scalp, and that's going to be slow growth, thinning, breakage, and excessive shedding. Okay. And then we talked about the mindset, just keeping in mind that when you see these small issues pop up, do something about it when you first see it. Don't wait until it gets worse. Okay. We talked about tips to achieve a healthy scalp, and we talked about exfoliating. We talked about moisture and balance. That's going to be important. We talked about some myths. Okay. Talked about some myths about the scalp. And then we also helped or answered the question that Choice put in the comments about or regarding the alopecia and dealing with alopecia and lupus. Okay. So that is where we are. And if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and drop off because I've given my spiel and I've answered the questions that you have asked. If you don't have any scalp challenges or anything that you might need a question answered regarding, that's fine. You can also always ask the question on the community tab. That's fine as well. Every question that you guys leave under the posts or the shorts that I make, I answer those. I try to answer those within 24 hours. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but usually within 24 hours, if you ask a question, I'll usually respond. And it's me responding. It's not a bot. It's not hired help. It's me. All right. That's one thing that I will do is always answer in as many questions as I can. Okay. I appreciate you too, Choice. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for joining me today and for hitting that like button. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If you found this video helpful, again, please share it with someone, share it with a friend, share it on your page, share it on your Facebook, whatever platform you subscribe to. Just remember the boss of hair loss. Okay, I love what I do. I don't do this specifically for the money. I do this because I love hair health. I love helping women with hair loss issues because I've been there in so many different ways. Okay. So again, hit that subscribe button if you have not already so that you don't miss the lives and so that you get to pick the topics. I let my community pick the topics each week. Okay. That's the thing. So if you want to be able to get in on picking the topic, be sure to subscribe and check out the community page. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, thank you everyone for being here. Remember, as always, you deserve hair that is healthy and growing, and it is my mission and my honor to help you get there. Thank everyone so much for being here, and I will see you all next week.